Right, turn 17, and it's the Union whose turn to move and activate. Over at the Von Kitteringham farm, the two regiments that were on just one land left, that had taken 5 hits, have swapped places with their two colleagues who were following them up. So we've got 2 fresh units now in the front rank. These 2 units are retiring from the board. That way it won't count against the Union losses. So, of course, they couldn't fire this time because they've moved, which means they're going to be spot ball for taking a volley from those 2 rebel units behind the hedge line. What else happened? There's my notes. Right. Down here, I'll come a little bit to orientate you a little bit. 3rd Brigade, 3rd Division, that's this one. I've moved right up now to this brigade is pretty much beaten up. There's some heavy losses in amongst them, so they're coming in now to attack the rebels on Palmer's Ridge. And the 3rd activation the Union got was here at Clay's Farm. 3rd Brigade 1st Division are now advancing across the field. They are now literally one movement away from that objective marker, and they've still got 2, and they've got 2 brigades travelling down the side. And yeah, it's looking a bit dodgy now, which didn't look too bad before, but it's not looking so good now. But over in Clay's barn, there's a drunken farmer Clay there, giggling insanely because he can see these troops ploughing across this field. Well, actually not ploughing across it, they're destroying his crop, so he's not too pleased. That was just all the movement. It wasn't too bad, they got quite a bit of activation there. Then if we go back to the firing, if we go back over there, the Massachusetts Light Artillery fired on the 11th Alabama, scoring a hit. That takes that unit down to 1 Iran now. So they're all but shot, all but useless. The Maryland battery, they fired at the 61st Virginia, who were there, scored 4 hits, destroyed the unit. The 7th Massachusetts, which I think is a 7th Mass, they fired on Huger's light artillery, which were there. They scored 2 hits, unit destroyed. So in the centre, Confederates have just lost their artillery piece, what was there, and another infantry unit. So things not going too well here. Movement here, you can't see. Movement around Clay's Farm, so obviously these Union troops can't fire, although let me just check that. No, they're not actually. Right on the extreme limit of no, they are in musket range. Yeah, they are in musket range, so they could be getting a walloping next. Right, if we move across here to this artillery, the 2nd US Artillery, Battery F, they fired on Carlton's Georgia Artillery, and would you believe, 2 hits, that artillery is gone. So the Confederates are really struggling at the moment, losing units left, right and centre. Over on the far side, Battery G fired again on the cavalry, which is the only target they can see. No hits. And then we've got two Union infantry regiments which both opened fire on Phillips Georgia Legion. Both scored a hit, so that unit is now down to 3 elan. And that was about it for well, it was it for movement and shooting on that turn. So next it will be the rebel turn, and they're going to have to get these reserves, well, split between, I don't know what they're going to do. They need some over on Palmer's Ridge, they need some in the middle in Clay's Farm, and they certainly need some possibly on Paint Hill. There's only 5 brigades there, so 5 regiments there, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. The Union is looking still as strong as ever here. They're looking as strong as ever here. And over there, the only place where I think they may struggle is over there, where those 2 fresh regiments have taken over from their badly mauled colleagues, and the rebel units only this end one's got 1 hit on it. That one's fresh, this one's fresh, this one's got 5 hits, but this is solely from this artillery that's been pounding it all the time, so they're next to useless. But there's still 3 full regiments plus this one back here, so there's still 4 full regiments here, basically now against 2 Union. So you know, it's not that side isn't going quite so well for the Union. Anyway, we'll see what the rebels do in their next turn. Right, 10-18, it's the rebel initiative. They moved Kershaw's brigade forward, but they've now split it up into sections, so they won't be able to do brigade moves with it anymore. Over here, the Fed South Carolina have moved towards Palmer's Ridge. In the centre, the 15th and the 8th South Carolina are moving up to back up in Clay's Farm. And if I move just that way a little bit, like that, and zoom in a bit, at the back there, over there where the arrows are, right at the back, the 7th and 2nd South Carolina are moving to the flank of Paint Hill. In another movement, they did an individual movement, and if you see across there, you see the arrow, the 4th Virginia Cavalry made a beeline for that wood. They've dismounted and they're now in that wood. And oh, what was the other thing we did? Oh yes, the over across here on Payne's Hill. Just come back out a bit to orient it. Right, these 2 units, which were further forward at an angle, they've moved back now to form a bit of a defensive line, so they were able to fire this turn. And the only other thing that happened, which was a single command, was over there in the Von Ketteringham Farm, is the 11th Alabama, who were down to 1 elan, are retiring, and their place has been taken by the 9th Alabama. But they're not going to stand here to be shot at by this cannon. So they've taken up position there. I think they're still within range, but this cannon's only got 2 shots left anyway, so it's not going to matter a great deal, I don't think. Right, that brings us to the firing. Reed's battery. Come out so you can see what you're doing, fat lad. There. They fired their last shot, so now this unit has to retire. They fired all the shots, but they did score one hit on Battery F, the US 2nd Artillery Battery F. So with the last shot, they did get success on counter battery fire, but it doesn't silence that gun. So but they did get that. The Norfolk Light Artillery in the centre of the table. They've only got one shot left now, I think. Yeah, they've only got. They took a shot, scored one hit on the 119th Pennsylvania. And then it was down to, that was it, artillery-wise for the rebels. Then it was back to the Phillips Georgia Legion fired on the 3rd New Jersey, scoring one hit. They were out of range; they couldn't shoot. So the next units who could fire, oh yes, was down here in the Clear Farm. There. The 51st Georgia, fresh unit, fired on the 18th New York, scoring a hit. And then the 16th Virginia, here we are, coming across here. The 16th Virginia fired on to the 7th Massachusetts, scoring another hit, taking this unit's land down to 2. And finally, over in the Schmozzle at the Von Ketteringham farm. The 10th Alabama and the 8th Alabama opened fire on the 67th New York and the 82nd Pennsylvania. It was one hit on them, 2 hits on them. I forgot to put some smoke on there. But then the Manly Artillery opened fire and it scored 2 hits on this unfortunate 67th New York, which was fresh. It's down to 2 in land now. Things not going too well for the Union at this side. They're going to have to do something there. So that's the end of that term. Some Confederate successes, but and they're still holding all the positions. But apart from across the VK farm, I think the other 2 positions are looking shaky. So leave it there and come back to see what the Union do in the next turn. Right, turn 19, and it's the Union. Over in front of the VK farm, those 2 units have been pulled back. They were just standing there being annihilated basically by those 2 rebel, and then there's another 2 more rebel units in there. So they've been ordered to pull back and just watch that on that front. So the Union assault on that flank on the VK farm at the moment is temporarily halted. Other movements were on Palmer's Ridge here. Come out a bit so you can see. 3rd Brigade of the 3rd Division has now moved up. They're moving into a major attack now in the centre on Palmer's Ridge. So that's going in. What else was moving? Oh yes, on the right flank there, of Paynes Hill. 1st Brigade of 1st Division, they're moving in, and one of the regiments has been detached to sort out those Red cavalry in the woods, but they're sweeping up. Also, the guns limbered, and if I swing back down here, move across the centre of the table and across to there. The Massachusetts Light Infantry and the Maryland Light Infantry, infantry artillery, the two artilleries, Massachusetts Lights and the Maryland Light Artilleries, both limbered up. So that was on the movement phase. Firing, there wasn't a vast amount of firing actually. There were some hits and some firing, but let me see. The 7th Massachusetts down here. The 7th Massachusetts open fired on the 6th Virginia, but no hits. Then here we've got the here. Oh yes, I forgot about this. The 51st Georgia. 319th Pennsylvania scored 2 hits on them. The 18th New York scored a single hit on them. And the 32nd New York scored 2 hits on them, which has destroyed the unit, so that's why they're smoked. They totally destroyed it. They went from a line of 5 to nothing, with 3 regiments all engaging them at the same time. And the only other action was over on the right flank there, with the 3rd New Jersey, which was the only unit that hadn't moved, engaged the Phillips Georgia Legion, putting 2 hits on them, so their line is now down to 1, so they're broken basically. So those reinforcements round the back, you see them there. Where are they? Yeah, these boys coming round the back here, and they're going to have to get a shift on if they're going to hold up that flank. So that was that. The Union did get some activations, but not as many as they would have liked. They really need to get this unit moving forward onto Paynes Hill. That would have been a must, but they didn't get it. So we shall have to see what the Rebs do in their next turn. Alright, turn 20. This is the 2/3 of the way through the game. Well, once this turn's over it is. It's the Rebel initiative. The first thing they did was Wofford's brigade, which was behind what the artillery batteries here, has now moved forward. That one was already there, but these 3 have moved forward. Over there on the right flank, I think you can see, yeah you can. The 2nd and 7th South Carolina have now moved into that block. At the back there, the Phillips Georgia Legion on 5 hits are retiring. They'll be removed from the board. That was movements. They didn't get as many movements as they could have done with, but there you go. That's look at the Joker in the pack. So firing. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's start back at this end side. In the woods there is the 4th Virginia Cavalry. they fired at the 1st New Jersey, who were going to meet them. No hits. McCobb's Georgia Legion, which is the unit on the side of Paynes Hill, fired, scored 2 hits on the second hit. What did they score a hit on? Oh, 2nd New Jersey, 1 hit. The Norfolk Battery in the centre at Clay's Farm fired his last shot, so he's now been removed from the table, retired. And it was a miss. He fired at the 119th pen, no hits. So he's now removed from the board, retired. What else was there? The 7th. Oh yeah, over here. The 7th. The 12th Virginia fired at the 7th Massachusetts, destroyed it. It took its alarm beyond to 6, so that unit is destroyed and will be removed from the table. That left him with no target, nothing was in range. But the 16th Virginia did engage the 2nd Rhode Island, and scored a hit. And that was as much firing as there could be done. Over on Ketteringham Farm, a piece has descended as they're too far apart and lining each other up. And that's the end of turn 20. Now, I think I said about, I don't know if you'll be able to see from here. Oh yes, you can. The Union have lost 3 now, because there's another one on the table to move. They've lost 3 units, 3 infantry regiments. The rebels have lost 4 infantry regiments so far, plus 2 cannon, keeping them 6. So they've lost 6 to the Union's 3 as it is now. Those units over there legally retired, so they don't count against the total. There's 3 Union infantry regiments there that retired, and a couple of rebel artillery units that retired, and an infantry unit that retired. So they obviously don't count against the total. So we're still quite away from the breaking points, which I'll double check on. Let me have a look at the notes. I have to keep loads of notes so I know what I'm doing. All this is pages of what movements, etc. In turn order, who's done what. I'll get there eventually. I wrote it down somewhere. Oh yes. The Confederates break on 14 and the Union break on 16, so we're nowhere near that yet. And we're 2/3 of the way through. The game. In the centre, Clay's Farm. I think that objective is about to be taken by the Union, without a doubt. Paynes Hill. If the Union can get this division moving, this brigade moving, to back up the brigade on the flank, I think Paynes Hill has had it. There's only Palmer's Ridge again. There's a sea of blue here, and I don't think there's enough. Rebels there to. I mean, these units are fresh, and that one's fresh, but it's 3 against, about 7 or 8 there. All right, some of them have got casualties, but it's looking dodgy there. As I say, it's only at the far flank there where it's gone quiet, but it won't be quiet soon when these limbered artillery gallop across there and start blasting the Confederates. but I'm giving away my battle plan here, aren't I? So I'll call that it for this video, because it takes forever to upload. And thanks for watching, and thanks for your comments. And bye for now.